Want to see it?
Huh? Did I say yes?
You didn't say anything.
I meant yes. My mouth didn't speak.
Welcome to Davy's Take. Today we are talking about Asteroid City, the latest film from Wes Anderson. The itinerary of a junior stargazer convention is spectacularly disrupted by world-changing events. Wes Anderson's one of my favorite filmmakers because he has this unique style to his films, but he also has this charm and heartfelt message and great characters. Overall, his films are just wonderful. He's one of those directors that's able to attract a lot of great talent because every single one of his films has a ginormous cast because these stars want to be in his films because they're that great. So of course I was excited for Asteroid City, even though I only just enjoyed The French Dispatch, but that's how I feel about Asteroid City as well. I just enjoyed it. I think this is a very good film, but it's definitely not one of Wes Anderson's best films. I mean, the first thing we could talk about with this film is the cast. It's ginormous. I think this is probably the biggest cast Wes Anderson's ever had. I would have to think about it because, like I said before, his films are filled with stars. But this film feels like it has the most stars I've ever seen. I mean, I was just so excited to see Bryan Cranston again because I'm the biggest Breaking Bad whore of all time. We also got Steve Carell, Margot Robbie, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson, Edward Norton. I mean, there's so many people in this film, and I can't pinpoint a performance that really stands out, but they're all great. They all fit the very delightful tone this film is going for. And it's just a lot of fun to see that many stars on screen. And speaking of that tone, that Wes Anderson tone is definitely filled throughout this film. It's so colorful. I mean, the whole set of Asteroid City is just wonderful. I love that set design. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nominated or wins some Oscars. But it's just really colorful. It really feels like they're in like a 1950s retro style town in the middle of this desert. I thought the little details they throw in there were just delightful. They were wonderful. They were funny. It was really charming. I mean, that's everything you'd want in a Wes Anderson film. And that's why I love his film so much, because it feels like he does think about those little details. This film has a lot of Wes Anderson dialogue that I really loved. I thought the overall story was somewhat engaging. There is a lot of things that happen that I won't say because I don't want to spoil the film, that I thought were a lot of fun. There's some very funny moments. And there's a unique way Wes Anderson tells the story because it is a two-sided story. So one part of the story is in black and white, and the other side of the story is in color. And I think how he combines those two sides of the story to tell this overall story, I thought was really well done. There are some elements that actually tie in to both sides of the story that I thought blended together very well. But I guess my only issue with the film is this overall story doesn't feel all that engaging. I know I said that there are parts that are a little engaging and the overall story is somewhat interesting, but it does feel like there's a lot of parts of this film that really slow down. And even Wes Anderson's witty dialogue can keep some of these scenes somewhat interesting. It does feel like this film can drag a little bit because there are some elements that don't feel as engaging as other elements, and especially if you compare it to other Wes Anderson films. That's unfortunate to say because I feel like most Wes Anderson films I've seen never feel like that because of the colorful direction and the well-written dialogue, and all that's combined really well. And I think all of that's in here, but there are parts of the film that definitely slow down because it feels like there are some plot elements that aren't as engaging as others. But overall, I think this Wes Anderson film is a great addition to his filmography. But I will say, which I feel like I've been saying lately, if you're really pumped for this Wes Anderson film, thinking it's going to be like something out of this world, Asteroid City, I would lower your expectations a little bit. This by no means is a bad film at all. I thought this is a very good film. I think it's extremely well made. I was just a little disappointed because of how big the cast was. I thought the concept looked really funny, which it is funny, and how the trailers looked and the direction and everything. I thought we were going to get some top tier Wes Anderson film. And I will say this is probably one of my lesser favorite Wes Anderson films. But even the lower tier Wes Anderson films are still really well made. They're still good films. And that's exactly what Asteroid City is. If you haven't seen any Wes Anderson films, this one's not going to win you over or anything like that. But if you're a big Wes Anderson fan, I think you're going to have a great time with Asteroid City. I'm going to give Asteroid City 7.5 Davey Daves. I probably like this film as much as The French Dispatch. I probably like The French Dispatch just a little bit more, but they're pretty neck and neck. And like I said, I enjoyed the film. But with Wes Anderson, I hope his next film can be something absolutely spectacular, because I absolutely know he's capable of that. So, Asteroid City, let me know what you guys thought of it once you've seen it. I'm curious to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Dave's Takes.